I'd like to call the meeting to order, the August the 4th Housing Committee meeting at 1:09 p.m. And the approval of the agenda. Recommendation that the Housing Committee meeting agenda for August the 4th be approved as circulated. Do I have a mover? Ryan? Myself, second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all right. Adoption of the minutes, approval of minutes, that the minutes of the Housing Committee meeting held on July the 7th, 2022 be adopted. Do I have a mover?
Yeah, Malcolm will move that.
Okay. Seconder, Ryan, thank you. New business, housing strategy survey, and we'll turn this over to Sarah now and she can present to us.
Okay, so just real quick, here's where we are in our timeline. We're at our engagement stage. We're currently running a public survey and we'll be doing pop-ups to engage people on the survey. Here we are on our schedule. Look at all those green check marks. So again, public consultation, survey, August. Our next stage will be stakeholder consultation in September. Stakeholder and right holder consultation.
Okay.
Clarification. First Nations are rights holders.
Okay.
So the survey, we opened that August 1st. We'll be closing it September 2nd. Paper copies are available through all of our pop-up locations, which we'll talk about in our next topic. Through the website and district office, it's on SurveyMonkey. We'll be doing some advertising on social media. So there's probably already been some social media posts. And we'll also be running some ads in local papers throughout the month of August. So for pop-ups, Campton, our wonderful assistant this summer, has set up their static displays at Work BC and the Eagle Valley Community Society, and also here at the town house. So there's a poster with the QR for the survey link for people who want to do it online. And then there's also paper copies and a Dropbox. Fill them out there and drop them there. And so Campton will be checking those regularly and bringing those paper ones here and inputting them into SurveyMonkey. So advertising for seniors coffee. So seniors coffee will be happening August 17th at the Haven. We'll be booking the room. It's by donation. That'll be from 10 to 11. So we're starting our advertising now, and that went up this week. This puppy here that you can see on the slide, it's a poster with rip-offs with phone number and email address for myself. So if people want help or have questions, and for seniors. So they're, whatever their needs are in accomplishing the survey. So Campton has these posted at the IDA, the pharmacy, at the SASCU, Finlayson Place near the medical office, the post office, the Vision Center over on Finlayson, and the Eagle Valley Community Support Society. So hopefully that will work well. Campton has also reached out to the senior center to see if they can send this information out to their emailing list.
Right.
We're trying to reach seniors other than the residents at the Haven.
Okay.
To invite them to come and join us. So as far as pop-up tents, we'll have one at the post office on the lawn, just back from the public sidewalk and the entry walkway. Okay. It's not too obtrusive, but people can wander over and ask what it is. And if they're not interested, they can carry on to check their mail. So that's August 9th from 10:30 to 12:30. So we'll have a shade tent, poster, surveys, same with swag. Hampton and I there. Okay. Seniors coffee would be the next event on the 17th, followed by the farmers market, Friday market, August 26th in the Legion parking lot. So 4 to 5:30 p.m. We'll have a tent there as well. Same thing, poster, surveys, swag. And then we'll do another pop-up tent out front of the district office outside August 31st from 10:30 to 12:30. So we should be capturing any people who are, still needing to pay their utility bill. Because it's
Right.
September 1st. So we'll try to capture those people. And then in terms of the rest of them coming in throughout the month of August, the girls at reception have copies of the survey at Dropbox, and we'll put up the poster there as well.
That's excellent. Ryan, any questions? No.
Makes sense.
Malcolm?
Yeah, thank you for asking, Brenda. Just a couple comments. On the senior center list, I sent you the email for Elaine, who looks after the distribution of that list. It's a huge distribution list, but the way they do it is if you just send Elaine our message and then she'll send it out using her list. They won't give us their list, but if you give them the message, they'll add it to they'll send it out using their list.
Awesome. So yeah, Campton did follow up on your comment and has sent them an email. It usually takes them about a week to get back to us by email. So hopefully we'll hear from them next week to confirm.
Or you can just phone Fred and get Fred's the president of the senior center. You can just, I give shared Fred's number there, his cell number. You can just phone Fred and get him to talk to Elaine to get that message out in the list quicker.
Okay, thank you, Malcolm.
One question I had on the needs assessment survey. So on the attachments there, they have the questions and then the results of the survey. Who compiled the results of the survey? Was that our consultant or was that our in-house staff?
That was our consultant. So that forms part of our housing needs assessment.
I didn't find that very user-friendly, how they compiled the results of the survey for the needs assessment. Because they put on I'm just going by memory here because I don't want to fool around with my phone and lose you, but under results of the survey, they used a horizontal bar graph. I'm thinking just a standard vertical bar graph would have been more visually easier to look at. And then below that in the blue, they repeated the same information again with the same question, but just on a percentage basis. But in the graph itself, on the graph, they had included the percentage on. So I think they just tried to fluff up the document to make it look bigger, but it's not. They didn't make it user-friendly by trying to do that. I think we could get rid of half of those pages by eliminating the bottom half because it's already in the top half of the graph. And it would be, in my opinion, way more user-friendly if instead of listing the graphs in number of the questions, in number of the questions that were asked, that they do a vertical bar graph showing the smallest percentage to the largest percentage. That way, visually at a glance, you can see what was the most important and what was the least important. With the horizontal graph listed in the order of the questions asked, doesn't give you a very good visual at all.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I made a note of that for our own survey results, which I would anticipate attaching to our housing strategy. So I've made a note of that.
That's just my opinion. I'm just asking the committee if that makes sense.
I hadn't really looked at it that deep yet, and I think it's.
I think this is what good.
Yeah. I'll second that. I'm opening it for the first time right now, and I'm like, wow, that is a
Question 14.
simple survey crammed into an awful thick document. Part of the reason I didn't crack it, it looks huge, and I'm like, oh, there's actually not much content here.
I think
Oh,
talking about the visual presentation.
yeah, I would say
Vertical graph instead of.
we put it in a pie.
I agree with that, and the replication, well, question one,
Oh.
the same thing twice.
Yeah.
It almost feels like
Yes.
easily half or a third of the space, and it would look a
Yes,
lot
'cause we-
usable, I think.
Yes.
It might be
Yeah,
easier.
thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, I would agree with you now that Sarah's just sort of explained. I didn't know what page you were talking about, so I now understand what you were looking at. So yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
sometimes consultants. Okay, thanks, guys.
Good, yeah, good point.
That's all I had. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. So are you looking still then for representation from some of us for those pop-ups?
Yeah, so I haven't heard back from Siobhan, like she
Okay.
wants to be involved, but I haven't heard back from her as far as which ones. So I think everybody wanted to go to the senior center coffee.
Well,
I'm glad to sign up for something else.
Okay, so, well, here's what we've got. We've got the post office. Just hanging
Yeah.
out in the shade on the front lawn, basically, you know, waving at people, saying hello, being friendly. Farmer's market, that's an evening thing on a Friday. I think the post office is a Thursday.
Okay, yeah, I was looking at dates. I feel like I could probably do,
Post office, sorry, is a Tuesday.
okay,
I believe is the day that I see the mail truck arrive.
okay. That's sad. It's a highlight.
That's how I get my mail. So everybody else must check their mail the same day the B train arrives. And then the other one, we've got we're planning another shade tent just out front here. So if anybody
Okay.
wants to come and hang out then as well.
Well, I'd be happy to also, in conjunction with doing the senior coffee, I would do the farmer's market because that's sort of near the end of the day for me.
And I'll if I'm in town, I'll do all of them. I imagine you'll send out a schedule with them all, eh?
You're happy to come to all of them? But you
If
want me
I'm
to
in
send
town,
you?
I'll go to.
Okay,
Yeah, if you could send me the schedule of all the pop-ups, and yeah, I'll try my best to go to all of them.
okay, I'll email you the document. I just handed out the updated version to those that are here and I can email it to you, and it's got the dates and times on it.
Okay,
And I'll make
thanks.
sure I send that to Siobhan as well and Jeff. And then Ryan, what were you thinking?
Probably plan to attend one at the last minute.
Good answer, Ryan.
Yeah, if I'm anything, it's honest.
Good.
Okay. Oh. I didn't update the label for this, sorry. So our last topic, we received this in the mail. There's going to be a, what do they call it?
Trade show.
A trade show.
See Housing Nonprofit Association.
It's a trade show, yeah, and so there'll be some various sessions. It's an opportunity to make connections and network with other communities and different groups, so potential partnerships, possibly. So there'll be nonprofits, there'll be other communities who are in the same boat, you know, to learn from each other and make connections. But some of the sessions and the exhibitors are pretty interesting. Apparently there's going to be some changes to BC Housing and their operational review process for housing through that. So that might be a good one to go to just to learn about this. You know, and they're also highlighting emergency preparedness and disaster. So in terms of your actual projects, but also insurance for your tenants and affordable insurance for tenants who perhaps are not, you know, necessarily is able to afford it, I guess. But yeah, Macola Development Services is an interesting one that I know from the island. They started out as a First Nations development company. But they also do provide services, like they've opened up and they provide them kind of everywhere. So they actually did our wellness strategy when Melanie was here. But they do have a lot of experience working with First Nations. So that's interesting. And that's what this cultural safety session is also about. And that's actually a session led by the Aboriginal Housing Management Association. So yeah, there's some interesting projects that have recently opened up, like the Cowichan Tribes on Vancouver Island. They're like in the Duncan area. They recently opened up housing that's both. So they've got Indigenous peoples there, but also, you know, members from the colonial settler community as well. So it's an interesting project to where for intersection in terms of reconciliation and healing. Anyway, so this will be happening in the interior if anybody's interested.
And I've heard about it because I'm a member, as I sit on the board for Eagle Valley Senior Housing Society. So I actually considered registering for it and going to it along with Kelly Heselton is also on the board. But I don't know, Malcolm, would you consider going?
What town is it in?
It's in Cranbrook.
Yeah, that's a bit of a trip, eh? That's a long drive. Oh, right, it's at the St. Mary's Hotel Resort, right? I don't know, that's I don't mind going to the actual trade show, but it takes you a day to get there and a day to get back too, sort of thing. I'll think
Well, I
about it.
could say, and as a retired guy, you don't have enough time?
Try to do a work-life balancing a bit, you know.
Okay, I know, you're busy. You're retired and so you're very, very busy. I get it.
I just volunteered for all the pop-ups.
Okay, all right, we give you that. And that's,
But if you're going and Kelly's going, then, you know, maybe you could report back to our next meeting and maybe we could share the costs between our housing committee and the board for your travel.
yeah. Yeah,
Is
well,
something like that possible, Sarah?
I'm not sure about things like budget, right? I don't know that we have a budget.
Yeah, no, I feel like
We don't have a budget.
Through the housing committee, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and the capital planning, there's so much on there that would benefit Eagle Valley Housing Society. So I feel that perhaps could be 2 or 3 people from that board that would be going. And I think I'd be happy to share the information regardless. Like if I'm planning to go, I'm going anyways, so.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brenda.
Well, oh, what was that last comment?
Thank you, Brenda.
Oh,
I
okay.
said, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so,
Oh, I have.
okay, all right, is there any, the only other thing I'll mention is that Tyson Eastland has let me know and that he is stepping down from the committee. He's just so busy with his new young family and starting his business and trying to grow it that he just felt he wasn't able to contribute as much as he'd really like to be involved with the committee. So I wished him well and thanked him for participating for what he did do, and that he would send his formal resignation to Mayor Terry Rice. So just so you're aware. So at this point in time, we very likely won't replace that person because we're so far along in this process. So for right now, yeah, that's the discussion that Mayor Terry and I had yesterday.
Well, and 5 is a good number. 5 is a good number.
Yeah. True, it's 5. 5 is still good, and we're all kind of on the same page with everything that's going on. We're all aware of the progress. So I guess if that is it. No other further comments. I will move to adjourn, that the housing committee meeting for August the 4th be adjourned at 1:27 PM.
I'll move that.
Okay. Ryan will second it. And adjourned. Thank you.
Thanks again for your help, Sarah.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, have a good day.